study in all the sports as well. Colours in cricket and athletics, Sportsman of the Year in 1969. Then he entered University of Moratuwa to do his engineering degree, where he played cricket, not only cricket, multiple sports. As Gauri said, there's this list of certificates he received when he was at University of Moratuwa. You can read that in that book, awards, and as I said, multi-sports colorsman there. His academic career, he received his bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from the University of Moratuwa. Then he practiced as engineers in Sri Lanka, Brunei, Australia, and currently working as contracts manager at Geofabrics in Melbourne. Still at the ripe old age of 73, 74. He's married to Dr. Shantini Maniapula. She is also here, a microbiologist, and she works at the University of Monash University. And he's got a big connections to Hartley as well. His father, this is Maniapula sir, he was a teacher and he was a cricket coach. And he was the cricket coach of the 1969 Hartley cricket team, arguably the best team being produced by Hartley. They beat every single team in Jaffna that time. One and only time they beat St. John's as well by 10 wickets, if I remember correctly. And Benedict was a crucial member of that team. You can read about all his achievements at that time. His two younger brothers also studied at Hartley, Anton and Gerard. They also played cricket. I think Gerard played with Manoharadas when in the junior third level and all that. So he's got a big connection to Hartley as well. Now, without further ado, Benedict, you say a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon.
Raise button.
Good afternoon, everyone. Mr. Karunakaran, Gauri, Maimaran, congratulations and well done. I think much has been spoken about you all, but I am so grateful that Jolyon has been instrumental in making this book launch happen. Thank you very much, Gauri. I had the pleasure of playing with him instead of playing against him at the University of Moratuwa. Thank you. Dr. Malini studied at Varamarachi Girls Senior College. I am also an old boy of Vadayindi Girls College. And after studying there, I decided never to get married.
I don't blame you.
Then what happened?
Then you always get landed, don't you know? The unexpected happens. When we capture a school's history through the narrative of teachers and cricketers, assisting in promoting sportsmanship, we capture, in essence, the birth of a great institution. This book captures a period in time when one of the most intimate and precious gifts Hartley has given to us was sportsmanship. As you read the chapters of this book, it is not unnoticed that it was a monumental task to obtain, research, document, recorded and unrecorded information. It's a tribute to the three of you gentlemen, Mr. Karnagaran, Gauri and Manimaran, that they have pursued this history and perhaps reading between the lines to capture the birth of the spirit of the game of cricket and sportsmanship at Hartley. Cricketers, sportsmen and gentlemen, all together in one person. That is what cricket is all about. Now I wish to talk about some of the things which happened during my time. The resources, the personalities, and also the principals, the heads of the school who made it happen, who made cricket really, took cricket to a very high level. Mr. Purnam Pillai, everybody knows about him, so I will not talk too much about personalities, but I will mention their names, which I like to do today because I have to acknowledge all those who contributed to make my team, which was headed by three captains, D.K. Ratnaraja, D.K. Biol, and Selvananda. Mr. Purnam Pillai enforced discipline. If a team is not disciplined, that team cannot function. Mr. Purnam Pillai enforced discipline. Mr. Ratnasavagari, who was the other principal under whom we studied, he enforced dedication and devotion to mathematics, analysis, analytical thinking, critical thinking, and that also helped us to develop ourselves as better cricketers on the field. Mr. Eramaram and Mr. Ratnavel, who were the prefects of game, alongside the principal and the coaches, they came up with a master plan to elevate the game of cricket at Hartley at our time. We had superstars like Dr. Malini's nephew, Mr. Balasingham and Mr. Nataraja Sundaram. But the purpose of this mission was to have a balanced team. And how do we go about creating a balanced team so that everybody can chip in and contribute when one goes down, the other one comes up, and stay together as a team and work together as a team. I'm pleased to say that I played in the third 11, second 11 and also the first 11. The fundamental thing was the leadership. That's the principle. Then after that, the prefect of games and the coaches. I was lucky to learn under Mr. Marcus Tambaya, who taught us the fundamentals of cricket. I think we have spoken enough about him, but I'll tell you some technical things because this is more of a technical thing. The technical matters which made us better cricketers, including taking a catch, how to hold the bat, the grip, and how to take a stance, and how to do the backlift, and when it comes to and forward defense, backward defense, and when you bowl, the run-up and the grip for in-swing and out-swing, leg spin and off spin, such techniques, fundamental. Those fundamentals were given to us by Mr. Marcus Tambaya. Then you come to second level, my coach was Mr. Balasubramaniam, and he taught us how to be brave, and you'll be surprised the technique he used to be brave cricketers. You know, when fast bowlers come to bowl at you, when we were so small, right? We are afraid to face. We, instead of standing like this, we go this way, right? Right-handed batsman goes this way. Mr. Balasubramaniam tried very hard for us to stay at the crease and face the ball. But then we could not. Some of us could not. especially when Setvananda Raja and Siva Mohan, when they come charging, it is very frightening. So what Mr. Balasubramanian did was, there was a rock next to our well, next to the hostel. There's a big rock. He moved that rock next to the batsman. So the batsman is next to the rock, he can't move. Right? So batsman is like this, can't move. So he had to stay there. And the fast bowler comes in, so we were forced to face the fast ball. I'll tell you one thing, Mr. Karnataka, that was a significant contribution Mr. Balasubramanian made. He drove the fear the hell out of us. After that, we learned to face fast bowling without any fear. Then comes my father, who was my coach, and I told him I will not speak too much about my father. But one thing I can tell you, because Muthukumaran himself asked me to say so, our gun bowler at that time, and even Navakumar also mentioned the same thing, and that during my father's time, the school invested a lot. Sports goods suppliers would come to Hartley. Top order batsmen will be able to choose their bats in the presence of profitable games and the coach. I had chosen the bat myself, and we were allowed to take it home and practice with the bat, and we were given a ball to do shadow practice at home. And the pivotal games and the coach, they also chose the materials. We had limited materials at that time, like pads, gloves. Those days we did not have chest pads and thigh pads and arm guards, not even a helmet. So they bought good pads, gloves and guards. So those were the things we had at that time. So we invested a lot of money on them. So, and in addition to that, they also focused on fundamental principles again to the next level, based on what Mr. Marcus Tambaya taught to the next level. Accuracy in bowling. Muthukumara told me that how the coach made him bowl accurately to a particular spot where he has left his handkerchief to be effective. That is one of them. And also fielding was the main focus, because they all believe catches win matches. If you drop catches, you lose matches. So you take catches, you win matches. So a lot of focus was given on fielding and also batting, just not defense, forward and backward, but also attacking and how to hang in there. So there were a lot of effort made by our coaches, specialist coaches. The best thing was, they were all teachers. Teachers gave their time after work until 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the evening. You see how wonderful that is. So these teachers have done a great job for us. So as a result of the sacrifice made by our teachers and the investment made by the school, we certainly improved. And we were also taken to Colombo, the whole team, to witness England versus Sri Lanka for a test, to watch the match. When the English team visited, we did not have test status then. When the English team visited Sri Lanka, we were taken to Colombo to watch the match. So that was an investment by itself. For us to see the superstars, the best batsmen and the best bowlers on display. So I can say a lot about it, but I believe you understand what I am trying to say. The things that were done by Hartley College, especially Mr. Purnambulla, Mr. Alhambra, Mr. Ratnaville, and the respective coaches. Wonderful job they have done. But I cannot forget the others who also contributed. Mr. Deva, Mr. Nataraja, Mr. Ramakrishna, Mr. Nityaratnam, all these people, they taught us physical fitness, physical training, and also encouraged us and took part in training sessions. So Mr. Ramakrishnan happens to be Manimaran's father. And The other person I want to mention is Soma, the groundsman. We did not have a ground staff. We had a person called Soma, the unsung hero of Hartley College. When it comes to the history of the game, he is the unsung hero. I'll read what I wrote about him. Unsung hero who laid and maintained the cricket pitch for many years and also looked after the goods, that is the materials, carrying the matting all the way to the pitch, laying, fixing the wickets, batting and bowling creases, etc., and take back the matting and the materials back to the storage area for matches and practice sessions every day, day in, day out. For matches, he would set up the boundary lines as well. What a loyal servant of Hartley College. So I'd like to remember Soma on this day, on this wonderful day, memorable day, the contribution, the ground staff, one and only Soma, and our kitchen staff who gave special diets to cricketers. You know? Then we also had a notice board which was managed by Murugadas and Vasantanathan, who used to display cricket news. So children, schoolboys can't escape that. They have to go past that and read about cricket, Australia versus England. So the cricket. So they had a contribution to make. And I have to say, the next one is Tati Man. You know this Tati Man? Tati Man, how many of you remember Tati Man?
Yeah.
Tati Man. 30 man, without 30 man, no away matches. Trust me. And this 30 man which took us to all the schools in Jaffna, right? You won't believe. In the best of class they break down, right? Never broke down. Never ever broke down. Not a single hiccup. You won't believe. Went very happily. When we win the match, we come back happily. Otherwise, we are not so happy. So, I have to say, that time transport was not very easy and very hard to hire buses and things like that to transport students to many parts of the north. And this 30 man, you won't believe, he was another loyal, unsung hero. He really cared for our team. I have to say that. We had great times with that and great memories. Finally, we also had a very good cheering squad, you won't believe, from RTW especially. They will sit next to the well, you know the well, and there's a Tagarang fence. If we score a boundary, the Tagarang should be banged over and over again. If we lose a wicket, they are all sort of dumb straight away, they can't talk. But when Naraj Sundaram bats, the Tagarang shit never stops. It keeps on banging because I have to say the Naraj Sundaram's innings, the 120 against St. John's first innings and 70 not out in the second innings was one of the best innings I ever seen. It was an innings, plus. And the players on the other side, Devendra, Kanagudara, superstars from St. John's. And you know how he got out? Naraj Sundaram at 120. When he reached 100, he scored 5 consecutive boundaries after that. In the 6th ball, it was a pull shot. It was a fierce pull shot. And Kanagudara, you know, he's a big bad fellow with big arms, right? And he went into his stomach and hit him there, and he just grabbed it. That's how he got out. You see? So that's how Naraj got out in the first innings. What a man he was. And now I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, memories, couple of memories. The most significant achievement, I will say, was beating St. John's. That was the pinnacle of our team's success. Every team wants to beat St. John's. No, you have to beat St. John's. You know what I mean? Gauribalan's team. If you don't beat them, you know, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? You are doing nothing. And how we beat St. John's, I will tell you that part of it. Muthu Kumar was standing at the boundary line and he overheard a conversation. And Mr. Purnam Pillai, at that time, he was the principal of St. John's. So the conversation was, St. John's was about 6 wickets down for about 12 runs or something like that, a very small number. 7 runs. Mr. Purnam Pillai believed he went and had a good look at the scoreboard, then he went inside. And then he decided to come back to the ground. But before he could come back to the ground, the match was over.
It was 36 all out.
The match was over. But one thing I had to say, that was one occasion he did not take disciplinary action against Hardy boys. Thank God we were safe. And the other thing I want to tell you about is about a player. This player, I think, we talk about the spirit of the game, sportsmanship, and a gentleman, and the loyalty to your team. I thought this was a good example. We had a player, right-handed batsman, who had a lazy left eye from birth. Right? Lazy eye. So I did some research on his lazy eye because he told me he had lazy eye. It's called amblyopia. Any doctors who are here? Amblyopia? Does it ring a bell? Amblyopia. Anyway, that's what he had. Amblyopia means reduced vision in one eye, often caused by abnormal visual development during childhood, where the brain starts to ignore signals from the weaker eye. So he was a one-eyed man. People say one-eyed man is the king of the blind, but in his case, that was not the case. He was a one-eyed man, king of the pitch. I'll tell you why. This was diagnosed and revealed several years after he left school. How he played cricket as a top-order batsman and went on to become the most successful captain, which was unbeaten, and for the first time in our history beat arguably the most successful cricket team in the north. You know who he is? Natarajan's brother, Silvananda Raja. Nobody knew it until I spoke to him in Canada about a week back to have a discussion with him about his experience. And when he told me, really, now that we are mature to understand what pain is, what grief is, what suffering is, I felt a lot for him. And how he played. Then after what happened, he also received a severe blow to his head during one of our matches and later admitted to the Mulai hospital on the first day of the match. But the very next day, he appeared at the playground because I think someone went and brought him. Yeah, they brought him anyway, and a playground, continued to play and took few wickets, 3 or 4 wickets as well. There are a few other stories as well, but I had to pick the one which touched me most and demonstrated the exceptional courage and determination to play for your team, risking potentially serious consequences for life. I thought I couldn't. It's very hard to pick a case like this. Ladies and gentlemen, may I conclude by saying it was a pleasure listening to you, Doctor. And sir, and gentlemen, thank you for inviting me, and I wish this book launch great success. What a magnificent effort. I'm sure someone will come forward and help you to make the second edition uncover more mysteries about our history. Thank you. God bless you all.